Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of New Perspectives with Joy and Shawn. Glad to have you here today. And hi, Shawn.
Hey, Joy. How are you?
You look wonderful today. What's happening
I'm
down
using
there in
the new
Florida?
filter on Zoom. Do I look prettier?
Yeah, you do. You definitely have more color in your face.
Little beach time yesterday, so little color.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
won't brag that it's 70 and sunny here. So
Yeah, well, we had sun for a little while here.
okay.
Now it's yucky and rainy and icy and stormy but that's okay.
Yep.
We have to go through this up here in the East Coast.
And that is your weather report for the day.
Yeah, that's your weather report for the day. So what kind of mood does that put you in? And Sean, we both got on here this morning and I was like, I know for me, it's like, yeah, it's time to talk to Sean today. What are we going to talk
Yeah.
about? But I'm like real gloomy because it's so gloomy outside.
So, I'm looking at palm
Okay.
trees swinging in the wind. So
Yeah.
it's a good day.
I get it. All right, whatever. Well, hey, there's robins in the trees though, so I just
There
want
we
to
go.
that,
All right.
they're here. So, anyways, hey, we were talking a little bit before we got on here with everybody, with you guys here today on fear. What does that really mean to you? I mean, why? In our profession, we have to pick up the phone and call people. Or you don't have to. You don't have to do anything. It's your choice. You're independent. You can do what you want to do. But if you want to build your business, you do have to pick up the phone and you have to talk to people. But sometimes the phone's the heaviest thing you have in your office. So what is that? Why do you fear it? What's the deal?
Well, I think that's the big why there are some people that are probably extremely successful and any business,
Mm-hmm.
and then some flounder and walk away. So again, I'm reading this badass habits, and she talks about habits are learned behaviors, and you can teach yourself to have better habits and get rid of the bad ones. I read this morning, and it says you got to deal with your fear, and she had a great exercise. So state your fear, and a lot of times we'll hear people say, or they'll talk about, well, I don't want to call that person because they
Yeah, they're
probably
going to
not.
tell me no. They're going to tell me
Yeah, or
no.
they're successful, and they probably, and we all know that's the person you should be contacting. So state it. I'm scared to call this person, Bob Smith. And so why?
Why?
What can happen? What can happen?
Yeah.
Well, Bob could pick up the phone or not answer. Well, great. Then what would happen? Well, I would either call Bob back or set an appointment to show him send out cards, or show him send out cards right there. Well, great. Then what would happen? Well, I would call Bob back again, or Bob may become a customer or an affiliate. So really, what's the fear? It's not, and we've joked, no one's ever told us that send out cards is a stupid idea or yelled at you for showing them how to send a card.
Right.
So it's just, I think, breaking it down, whatever, state the fear, and then just, well, what happens? What happens if I do that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happens? Then what happens? Then what? It's like breaking down your why, getting really to the core of it. And when you get to the core, it's like, yeah, nothing really bad happens. So
Yeah.
I either
Exactly.
call back or I
Yeah.
have a new customer
Right,
or an
exactly.
affiliate.
And I think sometimes if you just kind of think to yourself, like, okay, what's the worst case scenario? What's the worst that's going to happen to you? Number one, they're not going to pick up the phone and they're not
Yep.
going to call you back. So we right away assume when that happens, we assume that they're not interested, and it's not the case at all. I mean, how many times, Sean, I know in my career, how many times people you continue to contact people, because my philosophy has always been until they tell me no,
Right.
I'm going to keep asking because they had that interest. I think that's why that's very important at the beginning of any kind of conversation you have with anybody. Find out what they want. Okay. Find out what they're looking for. You've always got something to come back on. You told me
Mhm.
this, or I understood you to say this, kind of thing. So as long as somebody's done that for me, it's like until they tell me I'm no longer interested, they'll hear back from me again. Is it going to be every day? No. I mean, you got to you got to know, when to call people back. But at the same time, it's like, what is the big fear? What are you afraid of? They're going to tell you no, or we have to reschedule. Okay, what's a good day? Here's my calendar, here's my schedule. I can do this, this, and this. Do any of these work for you? Kind of thing. And if they
Yeah,
tell
it's
you
just,
no,
well, we all know most of our fears never become realized. I thought as a kid I was going to have to deal with quicksand a lot, and I've never come across it in my entire life. you know so
as a kid, I was afraid to go over bridges. Now
See?
imagine that. Imagine that. We have this collapse of Pittsburgh and this bridge. And I go over
Right.
all the
Glad you
time
weren't
every
going
time I
over
go
it
to the
that day.
Apple store, right?
See, my fear came
Yeah,
true.
but
But
growing up, I mean,
most
man, I
times our
forget I was
fears
on the
are
floor.
unfounded, and I think if you
Yeah.
just you state it, and sometimes just when you state it, you're like, well, come on, I'm afraid he might pick up the phone. Ooh, then what's going to happen? Either going to schedule an appointment or show him right then and there how to send a card or a postcard. Okay, then what? He might sign up. Well, then what? He might become a successful affiliate and I make a lot of money. So what could happen? And it sounds silly. I mean, I don't mean to make light. I mean, there's truly, gut wrenching fears that people have that,
Mhm.
but most of the times in our business, it's not the case. And
Mm-mm.
if we state it and just kind of walk through that, well, what could happen? What could happen? Um, so it just kind of, you'll probably smile by the time you get to the end and say, hi, Bob, it's Sean, so.
Yeah, exactly. And that kind of leads me down a path too, that a lot of times many of our leaders, including ourselves, you hear them to do different contests on go for the no,
Mhm.
go for the no, set yourself a goal to get so many no's a day. Does that sound negative? No, it's not negative, but it's going to train you. It's going to teach you not to fear to ask.
Right.
you know and as Jordan, Cody, everybody who teaches tells you, no doesn't mean no forever. Don't just cry down and it's like, oh my gosh, no, what am I, now, find out when's the next time, the right time
I
to do
have
that.
a husband and wife realtor team that signed up this week that I showed them before I moved to Florida. And I've been
Okay.
constantly, we do a postcard program thing, and they're like, we're not doing it anymore because we're not getting anything out of it. And I've dripped on them with texts and cards, and
Mhm.
two and a half, maybe 3 years later. So you're right. Don't ever give up on somebody if they say,
Yeah.
I see it, but it's just not right now, or no, just keep sending cards, and you never know what's going to trigger them to say, hey, I'm, yeah, I got a text. Hey, can we talk tomorrow? Sure can. So,
Yeah.
if I would have quit a year and a half ago, wouldn't have had them as a
Yeah.
customer, and they're going to do, the 147 because they want to contact their clients every other month. They're going to talk,
Definitely.
split them
Yeah.
up. So, yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Don't, the no is not always, and a no is not a bad thing. So.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you talk about the follow-up and how like 2.5 years later it finally sinks into them. I have to share a funny story with you. Just kind of hit me here yesterday, my B&I group. I speak in 2 weeks. And I don't know, I come up with these ideas that make me crazy. I don't even know where they come from, but they're good. They work out to be pretty good. But I thought to myself this time when I speak, it's like, you know what? We never have time for Q&A at the end. It's like if you want to ask questions, it's meet one to
Oh,
one.
okay. Yeah.
Okay. So it's like, I'm going to make my whole 10 minutes on Q&A. So I decided, I sent a paper around yesterday and I said, you know what? I said, I want to answer your questions. Tell me any question you want, any question you might have about send out cards and myself. Okay. And I'm thinking, we had like 20 members there yesterday. And I'm thinking maybe 12, 11, 10, might have questions. I had 16, 17
Wow.
questions show up. And it's like, I was so excited for that. And I'm reading through these questions, and it's things I say all the time.
Uh,
It's things that we've talked,
are they
and
a
it's,
real card?
yeah, I didn't get that. I was waiting for that real card. I
Okay.
actually have had that before at a
I,
networking
I
event. I'm
have
thinking
too.
like, oh, seriously, but
Yeah, I hold them up.
I was just it's exciting to do that because now I'm going to build everything around those questions. Of course, then I'm going to make up some that we all know, we hear from all people all the
Right.
time, but I was amazed at some of the questions, how
Well,
I've been there for
if
a
one
year.
person asks the question, probably other people have the same question. They just don't ask
Exactly.
it. So,
Exactly. Yeah, and
yeah.
that's why I don't like not having a Q&A. I always think you always got to have a Q&A after any kind
Right.
of presentation because you want
And you know what? It's
good
smart
answers.
move to ask them before your presentation because then you get participation. A lot of times, any questions? And everybody's like,
Yes.
So here's some of the questions, and you don't have to call people out. Here's some of the questions I got.
Yeah, and I
You
told
know,
him, I said, I don't even want your names on here.
right,
It don't matter to me. It's up to you. I had a couple people put them down on specifics, but and some of the questions you can guess who they are, but it doesn't matter. It's
right,
just like you're right. It's like it's gonna be like they're participating,
sure,
in
yeah,
everything that's gonna go on. But again, the point of it is it's going back to that, like how many times I've said things to this one particular person, especially that is in my mind to think about this. And it's like I've talked to him once, I've done a one-to-one, and I need to call him again. But it's like something's holding me back from calling him again. Well, he hasn't responded, or he didn't want to do anything the first time. So it's my own fears coming in
sure,
there.
yeah,
And here it's just he needs more answers,
yeah.
So anyways, yeah,
No, you're right. I mean, most things that we don't do is because of some sort of, most times, silly fear that we have,
hmm
um, about what you think the situation is going to be like, or what. And you know what? I also find that if you go into a situation, I've become much better of playing out the positive impact of, I'm gonna have this meeting. They're gonna love it. They're gonna do this, instead of going into it. Yeah, I'm gonna show it, but I know they're not gonna do anything. And those become self-fulfilling prophecies. To have that, what's the great outcome? Put that in your mind. Stories in our mind become the stories of our life. So if
right.
you're showing it a lot of people and you're not having success with signups, what kind of mental picture are you going into that appointment with? Is
hmm
it, well, the last person didn't want to do it, so this person probably won't want to do it,
And I'm having a bad
versus,
day. It's not going to work,
yeah,
Yeah.
versus, wow, they're just going to love the unlimited plus 100. We're going to get them signed up and move on. And what you'll find is you'll be shocked when people don't do it. Really? Oh, okay. Wow. Weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next. And just everything's mindset. So with the fear and everything. So I hope that helped. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Just, and
and if you really have really true fears, go to therapy. And I don't mean light of that, but you know what? If you think about, if you want to pick up tennis, you probably get a coach to help you with your backhand. If you want to play better golf, you get a coach to help you with your swing. Anything like that, we don't think anything about it. But our own personal growth, our own habits, we don't think, most people don't think, I need a coach to help me out, because they think, well, it's my weakness. I don't really want to share
right.
that. There's
Right.
something wrong. No, it's just like anything else. They're
Mhm.
learned habits. So if you truly can't get over something, that's when you need to have a coach to help you get to that next step. So
Right. Right. Yeah. And sometimes we think what we're doing here, we're giving you some coaching advice. So we hope we helping you
hope
out
so.
there,
So,
you know?
but we are not professionals, so we need to have that disclaimer at the bottom now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although we have seen probably everything. So,
Hey, Sean, when you were talking there a minute ago, something else came to my mind. And one of the fears that people have is they're afraid they don't know enough. They're afraid they're going to say something wrong. They're when you are sharing something like we have that can lift somebody up, and it's a greeting card and an easy way for them to do it, you should have no fears. You know, it doesn't even matter if your internet stops in the middle of making that card. It doesn't matter.
hey,
It's
yeah,
the purpose that you're doing it should eliminate your fears.
and I get, one of my fears is I don't ever want to look dumb. Well, that ship sailed many years ago. But you're right. I I remember when I first started, and did I know everything? No. I remember when I was being walked through sending a card, and I'm like, "What's that?" And he was like, "I don't know. Let's call customer service." Okay. Well, great question. I don't know that.
Oh
I
yeah.
still call customer service because somebody asked me something the other day. I'm like, that is a great question. I do not know. And you're right. When you first start and you just got introduced, and this is really cool. That's what sells it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not,
100%.
well, if you click this button and then this will pop up in no, it's your excitement. Why did you do the story sell?
Yeah.
Facts tell, stories sell. It's your excitement. But I've had people, well, I can't show anybody right now because I don't know everything. Well, I'm here to tell you, you're never going to know everything, so just get in there and muddle through. And then they don't know you're messing up
Right.
if you mess something up. So just, yeah, that's that comes up quite a bit. But you know what? That's why I think as a sponsor, you tell people just start sharing. I'll help you with the first. And when you're ready, go jump in. You have questions. I mean, I have people right in the middle of, hey, can you, we seeing this? I'm like, I've never seen that before. So let me check. I'll call you right back. So it's okay. It's yeah. It's so what if they ask a question and you don't know the answer? What's the worst can happen? Let's break that down. I find it out. Okay, then what? Then I tell them. Okay, then what? Then they're satisfied with my answer. Okay. So no, yeah, no,
Yeah,
get that one off.
yeah. There's no, I want to say there's no right or wrong way. I mean, it's all about, you all know how to send a
And
card.
don't make up an answer if you don't know.
Yeah. Well, I laughed yesterday. I was talking to a mother-daughter real estate team yesterday, and the daughter, she was just like real. She was ahead of me before I was telling her how to do the card, and she's just doing this stuff. And she did something on that card that I didn't even know you could do. Do you know, like when you,
How'd you do that?
I know, I'm sitting back like,
Huh.
I was like,
Oh yeah, I've done that one before.
yeah.
What'd you hit?
Well, I eventually told her, I said, I've never seen that before. I said, you just showed me something. Of
Yeah,
course, they got a
thanks.
big tickle
Appreciate
out
it.
of that,
See?
but it's like, I didn't get all like freaked out, like, oh, you can't do that, try it. Okay, go ahead. I'll just sit here
I
and
think
wait.
that goes back to always wanting to continue to learn,
Mhm.
and
Yes,
not be
yes.
too big in the britches or whatever. And I know everything. Wow, that was cool. I didn't know that. I'll start using like that Control B if you want to bold your print.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
So if you highlight a message and then you hit Control B, it'll bold it.
Really?
Now you cannot. Then you have to make sure everything's done. You have to move forward. You can't do anything else to the inside of that card.
Okay, cool.
That's training one, because if you do, it kicks you out. So you have to, once you have what you want to write and it's perfect, Control B, highlight the whole thing, hit Control B, and it bolds. Because some of our fonts I love them, but they're a little faint. So hit
Uh-huh.
Control B and then either hit continue to check out or hit the back and move on. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, okay, then. Thank you for that. I did not
So
know that. Okay, so
anyway,
now what
that's the
I'm
tip
going
of
to
the
tell
day.
you that this girl did yesterday, on the left side of her panel, she chose a template with 2 photos, and she put both photos in there. Then she put her message over on the right-hand side. Okay, all good, right? Then she found the button that you can span a picture, and she spanned the picture, and it went on the background of both panels with the
Oh
template.
yeah, okay, yeah,
With the template. I didn't even
yeah.
know you could do that. I thought, well, isn't that
Wow,
like
yeah.
cool?
See, we learn something every day.
On the new editor, I know, because we're playing with
Right,
that thing, but
but
this
on the
is
old
the
one,
old editor. I'm sitting here
okay.
going, oh, that's like
I've been doing
cool.
it backwards. So,
So now how many people listening that look at me like, Joy, I've known this forever. I did
duh.
not know
Control
that.
B, I knew that
See, I
7
did
years
not
ago.
learn 101, I didn't know, it's all good. So, well,
All
anyways,
righty, we've
okay.
got enough off
We'll see
topic.
how many people stay to
Face
the
your
end of this and
fears.
catch those 2 tips.
Right. What are
So,
the tips at the end that we gave? We
yeah,
made
there
you
you
listen to the
go.
whole thing.
Promise you go to the end.
So,
Thanks. Hey, Shawn, you have a great week. Bye,
you too.
everybody. See you next week. And we're in February. Oh my
Yep.
gosh, hard to
Keep
believe.
rocking.
Keep it rocking. Bye.
Bye bye.